Good morning, everybody. It is officially the first day of Solution Summit 2026 here in Isle of Palms, South Carolina. My name is Adam Robertson. I'm EDPMA's Marketing Director. Sitting next to me is Paul Hudson from Rev4ward. Paul, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, sir.
So my first question for you is, you have been deeply involved with EDPMA throughout the years. What can you tell me about how EDPMA as an organization has evolved?
I think that it's grown larger, more diverse, and the topics and issues that we cover are more comprehensive than they used to be. And I think there's been a move forward in terms of being a member of a number of associations that pool their resources for advocacy, for influence, for collaboration. So I've been very proud of the way that the organization's developed and become more sophisticated and effective.
Absolutely. I mean, let's look at this week. What I keep saying is something super exciting, and that is that this is a record-breaking turnout for Solution Summit. So we are really excited about this week. We have some great educational breakouts and general sessions on display this week. So let's talk about education specifically, Paul. Right? As Education Committee co-chair, how do you ensure that the content that we put out there, what we deliver to our members, our non-members, organizational teams, how do you make sure that content stays both reliable, relevant, and valuable?
I think there's two parts of it, one of which is that committee structure actually pools the opinions and surveillance and priorities of the folks that are on those committees, whether it be the conference planning committee or the education committee. And the other thing is that we poll the populace and find out what's of interest. So surveys go out from EDPMA about what the issues are. The other thing that helps is the professional staff and the advocacy aspect of the organization identifies priorities. And then as the Solution Summit has solutions in the title, and the workshop has a tagline, Tools for the Toolbox,
yes,
we're always looking for actionable, practical elements of strategies and tools that people can use to optimize their practices.
Yeah, Paul, and you really see that, right? Taking a step over to see some of the educational sessions that are happening right now, we have more happening throughout the next couple of days. That room is packed, right? I mean, to the point where we have standing room only. So we know that people are really interested in what we have to get out there, what EDPMA also as an organization has to say. You mentioned those surveys, great responses, so really strong production engine there, right? Let's talk about education just in general, right? What role does education play in helping those who are in our field navigate some of today's challenges?
I think that as education has evolved, we've got different strategies and tools for different subsets of folks.
Yeah.
So the institution of the Emerging Leaders Academy program, Courtney Franco's idea, basically transformed the organization into the idea of trying to fill the pipeline of the future leaders. And moreover, to provide them with the basic understanding of the way that the business works and have that content delivered by the experts that populate EDPMA. So there's that. And then there's the idea of what's happening on an as it happens basis with advocacy and legislation. Right. So we'll have webinars that are just in time that have a sophisticated delivery of information about that particular topic. Then we have the anchors of the workshop once a year that focuses on revenue cycle management generally, and then the more comprehensive and larger audience Solution Summit. And in between we'll have webinars that address specific issues, and I think that helps us cover our basis in terms of the what, to whom, and why.
That's right, and year round, right? I do want to move into talking about year-round support that EDPMA does offer to members, so I'll ask you that right after this, but what I do want to ask you is, why are we here right now, right? What is the value of an individual coming on behalf of their organization? What is the value of attending Solution Summit?
Part of what we are charged with as presenters is to have actionable items that people can take back.
Yes.
So there's always been this high level surveillance and landscape of what's happening, of information that's extremely valuable to folks. But ultimately, if you charge each person who's got the stage with some sort of information that you can take back and will influence positively your practice and help better serve your patients. That's one value. The other thing that you see that we've always that struggled with the dichotomy between getting people in the rooms to watch the speakers,
right,
and then out of the collaborative aspects, because the networking is so strong here, and then the population you have access to is the creme de la creme. So the notion is that if you want to see somebody and have a sidebar or an opportunity to talk with that, this is where the people are that matter in the business, and that networking is a very strong component of Solution Summit as well.
Absolutely. You know, going back to education, right? We noticed that every single description or listing of the session that is going to happen, it has your summary, it has your learning objectives.
Of course.
Super important. And to the networking aspect, absolutely so many opportunities for us to get together, different components. Tonight there's an emerging leaders mixer. We love that academy. You know, Paul was just talking about that. So let's go back to where I was gonna go with that. Year-round, right? So as you have already mentioned, EDPMA is more than just Solution Summits, more than just our RCM workshop, also a very great event. But those connection points in between, right? So tell me a little bit about not only why it's important for organizations and their teams to engage with EDPMA year-round, but also why is it important for them to be members of EDPMA?
Part of what we're trying to do is establish value. So access to the tools we mentioned, either on an archive basis or through webinars and the like. The other thing we've not mentioned that has a very powerful influence and effect on EDPMA is the committee structure. So that we encourage involvement of folks in the committees, and then allowing them to withdraw the information that comes out of those committees and contribute to the committees, and then the committees flow up towards policy, objectives, priorities for the organization. So there are monthly meetings or more than monthly meetings for specific instances where members of the organization that might otherwise not attend the workshop or Solution Summit participate in committee work and then learn from that, and then in addition to that, contribute as the hive mind towards the intelligence and ability we have as an organization.
Yeah, our committees are incredible. You know, yesterday was our sort of pre-conference day with our committee day programming. You know, so if you're watching this video and your organization is not yet a member of EDPMA, encourage you to watch this video, check things out, talk to the individuals that are in charge of our membership, get them to help you out, test out the committees. There are incredible working groups, and see where you can go from there. Paul, thanks for the conversation.
Thank you, sir.